beautiful meditation that I am wholeness, I am peace, I am abundance, I am all that is because I am one with God is the key idea that we learn in Science of Mind, and which makes all the difference in our world of experience. Thank you, Monique. That was wonderful. Now I'd like to move right away into our opening treatment, which is a subject that is very mystical and which reveals a secret that all mystics live by. And I know that each one of us in this room is a mystic happening. Okay, so this my subject this morning is life at the summit, or living beyond appearances. You hear these words, judge not by appearances. And so this morning we are talking about this sacred art, which is a talent of consciousness that we have to consciously develop, that the risen consciousness, the Christ consciousness, the Buddha consciousness, all risen persons manifest this quality of being able to live beyond appearances. We've heard statements like, I am in this earth, but not of it. Judge ye not according to appearances, yet judge ye righteously. What do these statements mean to those of us on the mystical path? It means that we are more in our essence than that which we seem to be. We are more than that which can be known or detected by the outer sense faculties. We are more than the eye can see or that the ears have heard. For in fact, we are always and ever unchangingly one with the sublime nature of God, infinite beingness, at the inner roots, the invisible roots, and base of our being. So this means that in truth, we are composed of the stuff of the universe, the very stuff that worlds are made of. And so we have ever the choice in the midst of the whatevers that are always going on, aren't they? Aren't those whatevers always happening? We have the choice in the midst of that to identify with our true nature of completeness and wholeness, magnificence within, or with all that goes on around us. Judge not by appearances. We have ever the choice to, when we need whatever, to contact that spiritual reservoir of never-ending strength, means, transcendent abilities, and peace, or to operate blindly, constantly swayed by appearances, living an ineffectual and powerless life, swinging this way and that. Life at the summit. What summit? The summit of your conscious knowing within. Standing in the center of your being. I am that which cannot be moved. Viewing from the highest peaks of awareness with the overseeing eye of God. Seeing God everywhere, in and throughout all. Seeing emerging God happening from invisible lands of inner splendors and grace. Being the living predictors of the absolute emergence of the full presence in and throughout all. What could be better? So, shall we go with the games, the problems, the sometimes called Maya, the disguises and masquerades of human making, which diminish spirit? Or shall we choose to see God, Spirit, shining true and sterling, radiant, even in the darkest hour? You know, Halloween is coming, right? Trick or treat. Which is better? Which moves us to more greatness? Which brings us more stature? Where are our conscious contracts and agreements? What are we aligning with? Is our agreement to ever abide in the acknowledgement of the presence of infinite spirit, or to flirt with ideas of absence, absence of the presence, lack of the presence, misery, living the lonely life, the vacant life? Which is the life that possesses the peace which passeth all understanding? Which position renders inherently the glories of heaven on earth? You know, I think of also in Halloween, like the pumpkin. And for years, you know, every time Halloween comes around, I have chosen, I don't get so much caught up in all the masquerading and around it, but what I look at is I look at that pumpkin. You know, the pumpkin has been totally gutted, right? All the inner stuff has been gutted, taken out, and there's that candle, that light flickering through the eyes, or flickering and also translucently, you know, making that orange very translucent as you look at that pumpkin. So I think, you know, that Halloween has a mystical message for us to, in the sense of it is a time, although we're playing and doing our thing, that on the inner levels we can realize that it takes that gutting. It takes that gutting of consciousness from all the erroneous and negative ideas of identification to reveal that perfect light within, so that that can radiate out. So for me, that is the idea of Halloween on the mystical side. So the mystic is one who is aware. The mystic is not a psychic. The mystic is one who is aware of the spiritual force illuminating all, behind all. The mystic can walk through wars, through challenges, through crucibles, through turbulence, through changing times and experiences, right through the mist of whatever current appearances. And the mystic is holding that light of God awareness before, seeing only that light, not getting caught up in all those things that we know things happen continuously. So we cannot find our strength in things or in events. We find it in what we are. So the mystic holds that light of God consciousness before, with a heart firmly placed on acknowledging only good, only God. The words of the mystic declare, "My God goes before me, making my way easy and my burden light. Of whom and of what should I be afraid? For I am aligned with all that is. The body and the being are therefore, as a result of this consciousness, not touched by all these swirling winds around. The mystic whose mind is on love and truth and glory and emancipation can walk through those fires, through those walls of limitations with ease and peace, transcendent. Always inevitably arriving by the great force and knowing of their consciousness in the clear space of good, which is another word for God. That good, which was intended from the beginning. Yet, in order to experience in our challenges, we must hold to the truth of good in the invisible period. Then we shall know the good, and it shall show forth. Ye shall know the truth, and the truth of your being shall set you free. So, this is a life of living at the summit of conscious awareness, the high and holy place, untrammeled by stuff and free. So how do we bring this in and practically apply this knowing to our lives? How do we get this talent to walk on the waters of experience, to come out the victor, to pass through the fires unscathed, through our own dark nights, into the light of day, resplendent day? We develop this through consciously focusing the light of our mind in an active choice, consciously choosing what we want to empower, experience or sublime God, love, the allness within. By bringing in that concept of good, surely if I know good, good must come to me. Not going, refusing to draw our conclusions by the paltry facts passing before us, but drawing our conclusions based on the great fact of our beingness within. Suspending tendencies to too early evaluate things in terms of good and bad, hard and easy, likes and dislikes, attachments and aversions, getting all caught up and mixed up in trying to control the data, the effects. God doesn't play games of duality and judgment. For God only knows one thing, and that is, all that is mine, therefore all that is good. So in the midst, I may cultivate my talent, when the challenge comes up, the whatever, to detach from the experience. I may go within to my Noah's Ark on the high rock, in the high place, and declare God and peace in the midst of it, and the storms will quiet before me. For everything of life knows what it is and responds to the great words of truth. And then the lion and the lamb of our experiences shall lay down together, shall make peace. So, how does God, or divine intelligence, the life force, reveal the mysteries of divine being to us? How does God prod us along? By giving us those experiences that we need to transcend some limitation. By giving us the challenges that we need to shore up our consciousness and to raise it to a new level so that we can have a new awareness of ourself. So God, or divine intelligence, is always giving us endless opportunities. If we don't make it one time, we can make it the next time. But those opportunities will keep coming to give us again the choice, the opportunity to find out the fact, the eternal fact, through our right knowing and conscious practice. I am in the midst, and I have all that you require. It's sort of like, our friendly wake-up call keeps coming around, and we can travel to the ends of the earth trying to avoid a whatever that has a message for us. And then we get to the other end, and there it is again, another wake-up call. So we might as well move into acceptance and say, there's something in here great about myself, good, to realize that shall free me and empower me. So this is how the wisdom does it. So we get these opportunities to practice our awareness of the presence. And when I say the presence, I mean all that is good, true, beautiful, successful, honorable, great, abundant. We get to practice the truth of the presence right in the midst of the whatever. And to acquire, this way, our golden and invincible consciousness. We get to come out true and to discover an endless stream of glories by practicing the presence, the awareness. Okay? Practicing. Touch not the earth, touch me. I had the great good fortune on a retreat to review the works of Emma Curtis Hopkins. Tremendous, tremendous consciousness, a mystic, and she taught the whole line of metaphysicians today. Ernest Holmes, Fillmore, all of them. And she was a mystic, and she almost taught through her presence. But she says, that one of the challenges is, as you're moving up in your unfoldment, is to be still and know that I am God, as Monique said, which also means to practice touch not the earth. In other words, go not with that appearance, but touch me. Go not with problem, touch me. Solution. Okay, so we practice touch not the earth. We move back. We withdraw our energy from appearances. We don't power it all up. We withdraw our energy and we go within, where the solutions are. Touch me. And it is said that the greater the challenge, there are many wonderful people who have tremendous challenges going on. Some people have an erroneous idea that a mystic, or a holy person, a God person, does not go through challenges. Well, I want to tell you that God puts the greater challenges in the hands of the persons where more can be demanded of. Take a look at a Gandhi. Take a look at so many. Take a look at Christ. So don't demean yourself if you're undergoing a challenge. What I'm trying to say is don't, measure your worth by that. Say, well, if this has come to me, obviously it's because there's something in me that can handle it, that is greater than this, and it's come and welcome it, and don't use that. That's again judging by the outer. Use it to evolve yourself. Okay? So the greater the challenge, the greater is the potential nucleus of the opportunity for you to rise up. So that so-called difficulty or whatever it might be for you really does contain your wealth on the flip-flop side. Okay? So, and you've also heard crisis is God's opportunity to reveal to us something greater. Why is this? Because in crisis, we finally have beat our heads against the wall for so long trying to fix things, trying to make them better. We can finally say, I let go. Don't we say that? I've had it, I give up. And then what happens? Something, a new energy streams through. So we have released. So crisis, crisis. I'm going to find out something fabulous about God through this. And believe me, I've practiced what I'm talking about. And I know how magnificent it is. And that with this kind of consciousness, you can move from what you think is hell to heaven, to the flip-flop side. So let us all really decide if we want the gold, and I know that we all do, or otherwise we wouldn't be in this room. Let us all decide to live at that summit with that light, seeing only infinite spirit moving before us. Let us walk through appearances ever so lightly, fortified, not resisting them, not trying to change them, just walking through them, fortified by our consciousness of only one power, one presence, and one life, that we may ever wear the mantle of peace, imperturbability, that we may be ever robed in the seamless robes of grace, of golden substance and impenetrable glory, radiating and prophesying the good presence to all, wherever we go, never disheartened, never disappointed, never pulled down, never dismayed, seeing only God goes before me, living at the life of inner truth and glory, shining bright at the summit and bringing it out in all. Okay? Am I going to go with the appearances? Here and there. Or with the truth of my being? There's a saying that metaphysicians like to say, when things go wrong, don't go with them. Let them go. It came to pass, not to stay. So what I'd like to do is just a short, very short meditation so that we have a chance to embody this idea. So let us go within to that sacred, secret place of the Most High, elevating now, rising to the summit of conscious awareness, stepping into God's penthouse, the penthouse of God, where light streams bountifully in from every direction. And let us say within, I am in this earth, but not of it. I am greater than all that shall come to me. I abide ever in the light of conscious awareness of the presence of God, ever with me, right now and always. And right now, let us direct the beam of our light of consciousness, the beam of our perfect knowing, to whatever area requires our attention now, to the place where appearances may have seemed to have bound or entangled us. And let us say, I view you anew right now. I am seeing only God and only resplendent good, inevitable. I let you go by me now, for you have come to pass and to be no more. I recognize your one and only purpose was to reveal that hidden good about me. I hold you up now to the dissolving light. You are now disappeared into eternity, an eternity of love. Only God remains. I breathe the breath of God now, free, and I say thank you. I am vitalized anew. I have come home anew. Thou dost prosper me richly and greatly now because of my freedom. And so it is. And so it is. I am that I am, and right now I declare there is only one force directing my life, and that is God, perfect, permanent, whole, and true. There is only one thing ever happening, and that is God, leading me ever into more and more expanded victory and grace. I let experiences flow by me as I witness the movement of eternity. I never get caught up in the affairs of the moment, recognizing my home is always at the summit. I cannot be confined by the times. I have the knack to notice and to absorb only the good every step of the way. And I am right now the accumulation of all the good that has ever been or shall ever be. Thank you, God, thou art ever my life. Thank you, even now, thou dost reveal the face of thy glory in the midst of circumstances before me. I always knew you were there, and my good thinking is now proven as you shine your light of eternal radiance and happiness throughout all. My faith is justified, and so it is, and so it is.